morning, everybody. This is your weekend horoscope for September 1st and 2nd of 2018. My name is Molly and I'm so grateful to have you here. As you can see, I'm in a little bit of a different venue for this horoscope right now. I'm at the park behind my house. It's a really beautiful day. I just finished doing a walk around my neighborhood. So I felt a little bit more pensive and thoughtful about this weekend's horoscope and just the meaning I'm attributing to the transits that are happening. And I asked my guides this morning for their input on what was going on. So here we are. I'm just kind of banging it out right right here and now. So the weekend, it's going to start off with the moon and Mercury being in a square. And what this can bring up for us are ways where our headspace, our mental landscape is not in line with, the things we want on a deeper level, what makes us feel comfortable, how we feel at home. So ways that we're not cleaning up our brains to be comfortable. And I'm trying to think of a better way to put that into words. So a lot of the times, we want to feel comfortable, we want to feel like we're at home, like we're being taken care of, but we have so much mental chatter going on. We do it to ourselves. We worry about things, we get on stuff and we don't want to let it go, and most of the time it's something we can't do anything about anyways. And so even if we are physically in a comfortable place, all that mental chatter just kind of ruins it. And I believe that that's something that's within our control. I believe that if we really want to stop with the crazy mental chatter, the first thing we need to do is decide we want to stop with the crazy mental chatter. So that transit on Saturday is kind of what's starting off this whole weekend, and what's happening on Sunday. And what's happening Sunday, Venus is entering her shadow period, her shadow space. And for those of you who aren't as familiar with, all the fancy terminology of astrology, when a planet goes retrograde, obviously we know it's, from our perspective here on Earth, it's moving backwards through the sky. And the space that it covers when it's moving backwards, we call that the shadow. So right now, Venus is entering the space where, when she is in her retrograde period, which begins in a month, she's going to be moving backwards, and she'll hit this space again before she moves forward. So as she hits this point in the sky, she's making a positive aspect over to Mercury. And throughout her retrograde cycle, which is going to be followed by Mercury's retrograde cycle, these two planets are going to be doing this funny little dance in the sky. The timing of when she hits this point in sextile to Mercury, when she officially goes into retrograde, and where Mercury is at that point. And then when she goes direct, the day after she goes direct, Mercury goes into retrograde. So we need to be paying attention to how these two planets interact. And really the way I think about it is what I was talking about with this moon and Mercury square. How is it that we are maintaining our mental space? How is it that our daily thoughts and even daily actions, just the things that we do day to day, the way that we think about the world and about ourselves, how are those contributing to the things that we're manifesting, the beautiful things that we want, both, on an intellectual level and on a physical level? And I know that movie, well, it started as a book. The book, The Secret, it has kind of a bad rep. People make fun of it, and I'll admit I've watched it. I don't think it's that bad, but this whole idea of manifesting and the law of attraction goes so beyond that movie and that book. It's like, I think this is just the whole basis of spirituality, is recognizing our status as spiritual beings, and through that recognition, understanding that we are capable of anything, and we can attract anything into our lives. It's not as simple as, well, I really want a car, so I'm just going to think about this car and then I'm going to get the car. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but at least to me, this whole concept of manifestation goes so far beyond that, and so far beyond just the physical, like I was talking about, because, you know, Venus is Taurus and she is Libra. You know, and I can think of examples of this for my own life. For a really long time, I had a really fucked up relationship with food in the gym, and it was extremely unhealthy and yada yada yada. One day I decided I didn't want to do that anymore, and I realized that the mental landscape that I was maintaining, it was conducive to just this chronic insecurity and chronic, I mean, honestly, my health was pretty poor as well because I was so obsessive about this stuff. So, you know, as soon as I made that decision and I began taking the actions to clean up my mental space, what do you know? My life changed. You know, I don't have that same issue anymore. I'm not constantly worried about what my thighs look like in, you know, shorts or whatever. And there's, I mean, anyone can think of an example like that from their life. I used to tell myself that I was, and you know, this all sounds so silly in retrospect, but at the time, you know, it was a big deal. I used to tell myself that I was too tall to ever have a relationship. And if I'm this tall, then I have to be, you know, everything else about me has to be perfect or else no one's going to be interested. And eventually I realized that that was bullshit too, and I did the work to clean up that story I was telling myself over and over, and you know, lo and behold, here I am married, and ironically enough, I'm married to someone who's 5 inches shorter than I am. Go figure, right? So I think, and the way that these two planets are interacting, it's not necessarily aspects of tension, you know, we're not necessarily dealing with squares here. So what I think it is it's really a blessing. It's going to reveal to us ways that we probably already know that we can clean up the mental chatter and fix the way that we think about things on a day-to-day basis, and, you know, gently and lovingly bringing up ways that we can recognize that the way that we maintain our mental space every day is really not helping us manifest the things that we want to manifest, and it doesn't honor the deep knowing that we have within ourselves, that we are spiritual beings, that we are, you know, children of God or star children, children of the universe, however you like to look at it. We are those beings, and thus we have divine given power to create whatever we want in our life, and to be happy and to not be insecure and to not constantly worry about things, because being children of God, being spiritual beings, we are part of spirit, and spirit doesn't have to worry about things because things just happen. And when we're able to clean up that mental chatter, when we're able to work to eliminate the insecurities and the stories that we tell ourselves over and over why we can't have X, Y, and Z, what we're really doing is just coming back to that recognition that we are these spiritual beings. And when we do that, we can rely on faith and know that everything is going to work out perfectly, that everything is taken care of. And we can allow ourselves to think that we can have whatever it is that we want, and we can allow ourselves to take our foot off the brakes and just coast, because Spirit's going to take care of it, because Spirit's going to take care of his or her own, because we're part of, you know, we're part of Spirit, we're part of the universe. It's all one entity that we're just experiencing as these separate human bodies. So those are the thoughts I have about this weekend. This, like I said, this is a cycle that's going to go on for a while. It's going to last up until December, just between shadow, retrograde, both of these planets doing their thing in sync with each other. It's very interesting. It's really beautiful how the universe blesses us with these things, that if we pay attention to them, we can learn all the things we need to learn to, you know, be the best versions of ourselves that we can. So yeah, that's all that I have for you this weekend. I think it's going to be a really beautiful weekend. I'm grateful that you watched this video, and I will talk to you on Monday.